Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of the Dice for Brains podcast. I'm Ross Rockefeller. This is an actual play podcast told in an episodic structure through the course of a season. For the first season, we'll be telling a story set in the Star Wars universe, using Fantasy Flight Games' Star Wars Force and Destiny. Season 1 of the Dice for Brains podcast is brought to you by D20 GameSpot in St. Augustine, Florida. All music is composed and performed by Jared Pennick at Z Chord Studios in Gainesville, Florida. iTunes listener Vamp1991 writes, "Great RPG representation. Really enjoy listening in." Thanks very much, Vamp. And thanks for leaving a review on iTunes. It really helps us reach a wider audience. If you want to send us an email, you can send it to diceforbrains@gmail.com or head over to the website, diceforbrains.com, and use the Contact Us link. Now, let's meet the cast and get on with the episode.
Hey, I'm Susan White, and I'm playing my character, Bher the Lesser, human female warrior aggressor. Her emotional strengths are justice, and her weakness is conversely cruelty.
And what was one time in Bher's life where she knew she should be studying, but she instead decided to do something else?
Once per week. No. Actually, she always has a conflict with doing what she's supposed to be doing versus what she wants to do. She loves to tinker in the garage with the various mechanical things. She loves waking up early in the morning and studying her martial arts, somewhat to the detriment of her schoolwork. But her uncle and her mom do a pretty good job of reining her enthusiasm in, putting their foot down when necessary. The problem is that Bher has this sort of sixth sense about what to say at the right moment in order to get what she wants, and she's not above using that.
Joe Shoe Reynolds here. I'll be playing Gree Tickus, the Twillick male, sentinel artisan. Ochre-skinned, twin tentacle-headed fellow.
Perfect. And a time when Gree should have been studying, but instead did something else.
Gree spent a lot of time when he was supposed to be working, and would skirt it in order to tinker with, once again, with electronics and mechanical devices, so he could play like holochess games and things of the like to successfully impress other kids.
I'm David Wright. I'm playing Zen Malek, the enthusiastic, the reckless, the charming Nautilin mystic advisor / Force Exile.
And a time when Zen should have been studying and wasn't.
Zen is a fan of the old blue and white noir holofilms.
I love it. I love it.
Get an experience point. That was amazing.
And he often would, if there was
For the audience, we completely derailed Dave's thought because he was looking for a pencil to write down his
an
experience point that he just
I'm
got.
not missing it.
Yes, he entirely earned that.
Often Zen would sneak away from his lessons because there was a cinema on Coruscant, specifically. There was a cinema that was near where he lived.
It's got to drop the rich city every time, don't you? So
Actually, he discovered the city that one time. He discovered the theater the one time that he got lost.
Oh,
in the
look at
underworld.
you.
See?
And
The
it was
box
actually
box
the
office guy.
It was actually
the
the
kid. What are you doing?
It was actually the criminal
Sit down, watch
squad.
this.
Exactly.
Stay out of trouble.
It was
Here, have the
Chinchenko.
popcorn. Sit down.
It was the
Chinchenko was on Coruscant?
It was the. Oh my goodness! I hope not. Hey, it's Star Wars. Stranger things have happened.
It's true.
Yeah, it was one of the criminal scum who looked after him while he was lost that
Right.
introduced him to the old noir detective films that he likes to watch.
The flashback episode is real. When we last left off, we were at Tenga's secret rock desert base.
Yes.
Yeah, a hangar sort of compound.
Couple clicks outside of Port City proper.
Well camouflaged with some sort of combination projection, almost holographic technology, where it would look like rocks and sky, like the upper portion of it was made to look like the sky if you look through it.
Yeah,
And so these doors just kind of appeared out of nowhere, and we rolled in there. We were bringing in a bunch of captives too, right? They were all loaded in a trunk. I mean, they're not
Captive's a strong word.
I think conscripts.
Conscripts, there
That's
we go.
the word, exactly. They've been gang pressed into service because they were working for Janko, and Janko's been kind of assimilated, and we've gotten Janko and Tanga to kind of agree to work together here, didn't we?
I think Tanga probably sees it as Janko agreed to work for him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Janko looks at it as a surviving for another week kind of deal.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. I'm being a little bit egocentric.
Janko's probably hoping the guy with the laser sword can keep him alive a little bit longer.
Probably, yeah. He used to get told those stories when he was a little criminal.
That was actually one of the reasons we are in our room right now, is to ask T6 about the mining tool /
Well, before we
sword.
talk to T6, we did learn something important about Tanga last episode.
Yeah, he was after Bacta to try to cure her of this strange disease that developed in humans that were mining, and it became communicable after some miners got it, and she was a doctor or something, and she
Because
was
all
fixing
the worms
them,
died.
and she caught it, and they couldn't get any other help, and it looks beyond our help to revive her. Yeah, all
Yes,
that
we have
happened.
uncovered a environmental crisis on Bava that Tanga definitely blames the Empire for.
Environmental crisis.
Oh, it's so great. There's so many things going on.
So now I am in the midst of yelling at Jelly for stealing the last cookie that I was saving for my breakfast.
You had cookies?
And yes, and I gave you one, and I said that was enough because too much sugar is bad for you when you're recuperating from an open chest wound.
Come on.
They're those dense cookies that
love 'em.
taste kind of like
Oh.
Baba
Yeah,
fruit.
okay,
Oh, that's
hands
so
off.
good.
But I didn't get my cookie because Jelly ate it. Thanks a lot.
And seriously, this is Tanga's spot. There were like 6 cookies total. It's gonna be
Jelly
days.
might have grabbed more than just my cookie. He might have eaten 3 or 4 of them.
That is top on the Empire's confiscation list.
Cookies?
Cookies. Blue crested ketos, cookies.
Yeah, exactly.
The war for
It's like-
snacks continues throughout
It's
the
like
galaxy.
the T-shirt, "Come to the dark side, we have cookies."
See?
In fact, I'll let you roll a force die. If you want to spend a dark side point, there can be an extra cookie.
I am tempted. I'm being seduced by the cookies of the dark side.
I ate my cookie.
Wah, wah.
All right, so you guys were sort of in the barracks. You had some time to go through your stuff. Tanga did warn you that a whole bunch of ne'er-do-wells will be showing up between now and whatever go time
We're
is.
probably going to get some very unpleasant bunkmates very soon.
And I know...
Oh, I figured we were in a small room by ourselves so that we could activate the holocron without
Well,
it
we
picking
are
up
now.
anything
We
you
are
are
right
now,
That's why
but
we're
it
going-
won't
we're
be
going
empty
into that.
for long.
We have a couple of hours before the.
That's a good estimate. And you also, you still do have Bher's family to worry about. No, Tanga said that Rand can handle himself, but Tanga will pretty much say whatever he needs to say at this point. So
Yeah.
Right. I'm still worried.
All right, so we're going to activate the holocron that we have with T6 sort
Okay.
of living inside of it, and I think we all had different things that we wanted to research. To be perfectly frank.
all right, cool. So you're in what is sort of like a submarine style barracks where you've got kind of bunk beds chained
Like
to the
3.
walls, and a little like desk area in the middle for planning and packing and that sort of stuff. There's nobody else here yet, so it's just you guys. The green light comes out of the holocron when you activate it and kind of scans you guys from the floor up. P6 flickers to life.
I imagine that every time we do it, it seems like it gets longer and longer because so we're waiting for it.
Yeah, well, it actually depends on how much other biological material is in the air. This is the first triumph you guys spent, just to go all the way back to episode. It was episode 1, right? Where you guys,
we keyed this. This thing was keyed to us.
Yeah, it was interesting. Something I had not planned for, but has worked out very well so far. So
It kind of
it's
keeps
really
us
good.
as a party. In a one
It
way.
does well, and
I mean,
it.
all the events do, but this is like
There's been a couple instances where it shut off when somebody was staring at you through a window. Like, it's actually benefited you guys at least 3 or 4 times during the course of this story that you did that. So I enjoy that. So T6 flickers to life.
Generals?
I'll go first, gang. I want to ask about this rock cutter, and I hold this out. Stand back. Turn it on. I'm pretty sure I can build these, but I need to know what this is.
That's a lightsaber, General.
Really?
It's a very specific lightsaber, in fact, General.
Do you recognize this lightsaber?
No, General, I recognize the design.
All right, well, what can you tell me about this design?
It is based off of model number.
He goes into a long series of numbers.
1138 something.
Yeah,
Okay.
it goes back to specific material constructions that are used in the building of the hilts.
I want to copy that stuff to my data pad so I can look for stuff to build.
Sure.
Maybe more of these.
The design and manufacturing originates on Coruscant.
Okay. I'm kind of I was suspecting it, but I'm still kind of floored.
Would you like to see associated files, General?
Yes.
What you see is what amounts to the camera that's been recording T6 kind of pulls back, and you see the loose outline of a boxed room. T6 is now, you can see him, head to toe. He's wearing that kind of like older clone trooper armor. He's got a cloak bit attached to it. A lightsaber in his hand looks very similar to the one that you actually have. The hilt's a little different, but it's the same length roughly and the same kind of green glow. And he starts walking through what he's referring to as styles and walking through basic maneuvers. So just from the top level, there's sort of 6 specific forms, which are basically loose groupings of movements
So
for each.
it goes down to, starts off with basic katas and stances.
Yeah, basically how to hold it. One of the first files you get to is the difference between using this and any other melee-based weaponry.
Okay.
The fact that this cutting implement of this weapon has 0 weight makes this handle like no weapon you've ever used before in your entire life. As you kind of spend more time, and I'm assuming everybody's really interested in what T6 is dishing out.
Yeah, we're all checking it out, yeah.
After he's kind of gone through the basic steps for each form, he kind of jumps into a subset.
So there's a whole nother set of maneuvers that you should be able to perform, General, that I will not necessarily be able to demonstrate. Best I can do is mirror what I am seeing, and hopefully you'll understand enough to be able to replicate these.
And then he goes into more advanced forms, I assume, like more advanced katas or something?
The lightsaber is not an extension of your hand, it's an extension of your being. You are able to control it in the way you can control your surroundings. This weapon will become a funnel for your force sensitivity.
Wow.
And that's the thing. He's never said that before.
That makes sense. That's what we are.
Yes, General.
Okay, so I can't take these maneuvers and put them on my data pad, but I want to get like the basic schematic sort of information
Sure.
put on there because I'm very interested in being
The
able
construction
to,
schematics?
The construction stuff.
Yeah, you can download the construction schematics to your data pad. Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm interested. I try some of the stances and stuff just to
Sure.
see about like holding it, and I actually hold it out. Do you either of you guys want to
Yeah, probably.
check this out for a minute? I'm gonna.
Well, and Bear's the one with martial arts training.
Yeah,
so.
She knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah, Bear, you actually
some
recognize.
Of these, some of these basic katas look really familiar.
Not just
they're
really familiar.
livable.
There are some that look exactly familiar.
Oh my gosh, I recognize that kata. I've practiced this like 100 times. Can I give it a try?
Yeah, you hold on to this, and I don't know if you guys are going to be experimenting with that for a minute. I'm going to try to locate a droid and see if there's a sort of any sort of like material depot.
Cool. Let's jump back to that. So you pass the saber over
Yes.
to Bear.
Yes.
So I try to do the familiar kata with the lightsaber and see how it feels. And I'm waving it around, and I get a little too close to Gree's head, and he complains.
I duck.
So what's really, really cool, in the back of your head the whole time you've been doing these katas, there's always seemed to be something about the posture, something about the way you had to hold your arms that just never quite seemed right for what you were trying to accomplish. These katas that you had been performing, that Rand had been teaching you, were designed to be done with this weapon in your hand. The kata performs exactly the way it always has, only you can immediately sense the lethality of what you know how to do.
Yes, and I'm having the aha moment, the bright light bulb above the head moment.
I think what he's saying is you can spend that 5 experience points on lightsaber combat.
Absolutely can spend 5 experience on lightsaber combat.
Thank you.
I was picturing like Bher doing the forms with the miniature, holocron T6, the hologram T6, sort of in the background doing them as well. But she's not even. She goes right into doing it, and he's doing it, and she's.
Roll your perception.
My perception.
Difficulty
yes, I've got
3, and you got a boost die.
And I get a boost die.
Because you're watching Bher do it.
Yes. And I managed to avoid getting my head cut off. 3 successes and 1 advantage.
3 successes and 1 advantage. Excellent. All right, so as the two of you are kind of watching Bher sort of mirror the kata that's coming out of T6, but there's a certain amount of muscle memory that's taken over at this point because she really does know this one. You can tell by T6's facial expression where he's looking. It's very different from what Bher is doing. Bher is doing it the right way. She's holding her head where it needs to be when she's finishing these maneuvers. T6 is watching someone else. As he's doing this, he is copying someone live in the room where he is being recorded.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying.
You are
so he's kind of like, he's got like, I'm reading off a prompter sort of maneuver. He's always like he's always looking in the same spot where he goes.
Exactly.
It's probably one of the people that left all that stuff with Ron.
I think whoever did that were Jedi.
So T6 is looking at a Jedi performing these maneuvers? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's
Can
watching
we see him?
Camera's facing away.
Whoever
Okay,
made these
okay.
holocrons didn't want anyone to know that they were being made by Jedi.
I guess.
If you found these, the Jedi don't exist anymore.
Right.
Well, they were wiped out.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't think they were even real.
That can't be true, guys. I'm feeling something really, really different here, pulling this amazing weapon and going through this form. It's like I've always known how to do this.
All right, so you guys are pretty much passing a lightsaber around.
Right. But at some point when somebody else has the lightsaber, I'm asking T6 about the crystal.
Hold it up, General.
Little green pin light comes out of the holocron and scans it up and down.
Found not found.
Well, that wasn't fruitful.
Would you like to see its chemical makeup?
Okay.
All right, so it's just a big list of minerals that it has in it and stuff like that. Nothing. I mean, you can roll an education check if you want, but it's bava rock and other stuff and
Arthrosite.
worm gut and stuff like that.
Delicious. Bear's like vorbing around the
Oh, I had it in my mouth. No. I'm kidding.
Perhaps we're not asking the right way. While Zen is showing the crystal to T6, I'm going to be going through the schematics that I have in the datapad of the lightsaber.
Okay, that's perfect.
And trying to make a shopping list of all the components that go into it, because I would like to build a couple more for the gang.
All right, so you have the schematics. So this is going to be a mechanics check.
Okay.
Your difficulty is going to be 3.
And
Actually, before you roll that, I'm going to flip one of these dark side points, and we're going to upgrade that difficulty die.
oh man,
Did you, son of a...
I have rolled a triumph. Good for me. But I also have 3 threat.
So you have 1 success, 1 triumph, and 3 threat?
Yes, that's how it works.
So the success is you figure out that these crystals are core components to constructing these things.
So the triumph is going to be, I give basically my shopping list of materials to an inventory droid, and he's able to zip over to the supply depot and bring it back to us.
Okay. So your triumph is that you can put together an inventory list really quickly that you could give to a droid to go fetch all the parts.
Yeah, 80% of them. A couple of things I'm able to like gather perhaps here and there. you
Okay,
know.
that triumph works, but there's no inventory droid here.
All right, well then I'm
Yes,
going
there is.
to flip a light side point. So,
All right.
one of those wheeled things that has like it's on a stalk and it's got like the little camera head.
Sure.
And beeps and boops.
Long
He's
spider arms.
They're over there. It's on like little treads.
It's actually called a treadwell.
Yeah, INV-88 is his name.
INV? Okay. All right, INV, here I got a list for you. Yeah, don't beep at me. I just need
He
you to go
beeped at you.
Just stop beeping for a second. Take
No,
this list.
no. In fact, I'm taking one of my triumphs INV has an attitude problem. And he lets you know.
Yeah, well, this is getting all right. I'm flustered now.
All right.
And it's like, come on, just take this list and get over there and pick up the stuff.
All right. He takes a list from you and rolls across the room to where Bher is practicing her kata and
Don't go bothering
reaches out
her.
and tries to grab.
No, not that one. And unassembled materials. Unassembled materials, INV. Go now. Don't mope.
He rolls out of the room.
I love that he tried to grab the lightsaber to find the parts to build a lightsaber.
So she's going to turn the lightsaber off and hand it to who hasn't had it yet? Zen?
Mm-hmm.
Hey Zen, you want to try this thing?
Sure.
I have some questions for T6.
General?
What can you tell me about the worms that used to live on this planet and eat poisonous gas, and what happened to all the miners?
I don't know much, General, but this planet was chosen for the location of this box due specifically to a worm-like creature that was said to live under the surface. Is this the worms you're referring to?
Yes, it is.
They are said to be creatures attuned with the Force, and perhaps could provide assistance in keeping elements hidden from dangerous eyes and arms.
Well, I mean, this is great. We have one lightsaber. We've discovered that I know how to use it really well, that we can use the help of Marcus may be able to help us in hiding stuff and finding stuff that'll help us. The whole point of this exercise is go and rescue my mom and uncle and all the rest of these innocent people. What have we accomplished so far?
Tenga is probably going to want to attack the Empire straight on. He's got a lot of ships and things to do that, so I think what we're going to do is let him do that while we sneak into the prison.
We're gonna need some. We're gonna need some bigger guns. I have a feeling.
We're going to spend our time here tonight, possibly tomorrow, figuring out. Actually, can I bring up? There's no way I can access when they're going to transport the prisoners.
No, but there is some more Bava alert videos. There's one that that specifically references prisoners.
Bring that up.
In there. So it is a local news report by Bava celebrity Brock Chiselchez going through how well the Imperials are treating the prisoners. Bags on their heads. They're in cuffs, whatever the equivalent is. I can't remember what they're called.
Binders.
Binders, thank you. They're in binders. They're being led in a line towards a room where they will be processed politely, as the anchor suggests.
Oh my gosh, you guys, let me look. Let me see that.
Yeah, get out of the way. Bher's in there.
So
I can't recognize anybody, Bher. They've all got bags on their head. They're focused on this Wolf Milker, Chiselchess.
You can't recognize anybody, Bher, but what you do recognize as a lifelong citizen of Bava is the Bava City Spaceport, which is where they are walking.
Oh, you guys, they must have some kind of system built up in the spaceport for housing prisoners. I wonder if there's a way we can get in there without being noticed.
T6 picks up on that and starts going through the espionage lesson you all are very familiar with now.
Shut up, T6.
Yes, General.
I'll start it over.
Is INV wheeled back in here?
No, he's going to be out doing his routines. He's sending you little updates. Zeta Q Alpha 712 found.
We haven't.
I'm on the data pad with him. I want to be all right. INV, give me the directions to the armory and no guff.
All right, he sends you the directions to the armory.
And I'm gonna.
There's guff all
I'm gonna
over
follow
it.
you.
There's guff all over it, though.
Well, I'm gonna go.
But
I'm gonna
Gree
go
and I are.
look.
I'm gonna go with you to the armory.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go try to find some armor and bigger blasters because I was in a gunfight with a couple of stormtroopers, and those guys are pretty much impervious to this thing I'm carrying.
I'm going to go with them, but I'm going to tell Jelly to stay behind and watch our stuff.
Excellent.
Yes.
And message me if somebody tries to tamper with it.
Pocket the holocron.
Put the squirrel in charge.
He can watch the rest of our stuff, which consists, I think, of my cloak.
Yes. So Jelly is sitting on a table with all your stuff, and
My messed up shirt.
with a little handwritten sign with an up arrow that says venomous,
Yes.
pointing to Jerry,
There you go.
pointing to Jelly sitting on top of all your stuff having a nap.
Yep. Works
All right.
for me.
One of the interesting things about the layout here in Tenga's secret base, basically, is that it's kind of like a modular home, so everything's been piecemealed. So this is a structure that has grown on top of itself many times over. So the hallway flow doesn't necessarily make sense. It kind of switches widths pretty regularly. There are definitely ways you can get vehicles through this and ways that you could barely fit you. So you through a series of makeshift hallways, and everyone
Hollowed out shipping containers welded together.
Yep. Everyone's kind of in alert mode. Most of the people, or most of the things you run into are droids, but you have occasionally seen some people now that have started to filter in. It's a wide spectrum of races so far. Not any one is more prolific than other outside of human.
But we're seeing, like you said, it was sort of the cantina scene sort of thing going on.
Yeah,
There's a
basically.
lot
So there's
stuff.
it's starting to get like that.
Ooh, there's one of those wolf guys.
Yeah. There's
The more people we see, the higher my spirits get. I am greeting everyone jovially.
that's. I mean, almost every.
And like the more like scummy and villainous they look, the happier I am because they're going to be capable.
He doesn't like your face. Well, I find your face fascinating. I must draw you.
You actually run into either aliens you've had direct contact with working for the Imperials, or ones that you've had paperwork cross your desk on. So you recognize almost every single face that isn't human, because as we all know, Zen can't tell humans apart. Sort of at the back end of a ridiculously long hallway, there is double blast doors and a panel with a red light on it.
Okay. Hello? Armory? Knock, knock. Anyone home?
Please tell me there's an iDroid.
It is the iDroid.
Whoa,
comes
what is
out.
that thing?
So a round droid kind of punches out of the door. It's shaped like an eyeball,
Ichuta.
and it blinks twice.
Hello? We're here for armaments. Anyone in there?
So it kind of jumps to each of your faces, does quick little scans, and jumps down to like Bher's belt and kind of does a long scan around, does a 360 kind of and then pulls back and locks itself into the wall.
Is that a no?
Oh, I had my comm in my hand because I was about to calm Tenga to ask him to let us in, but
Okay. Maybe
I put my
maybe
comm
this
away.
was, maybe that was done for us.
The way you would walk into a chamber filled with gold, and it's lined with. This is lined with like droids. The droids themselves are not 100% operational. So these are the battle droids he couldn't get legs working on. So he mounted them to the wall, basically. So there's a kind of a wide room that's got about half dozen on each side battle droids kind of set up, attached to the walls, active. There is a cage, an electric fence about halfway through the room. And there is a sort of grimy looking female Sulistan sitting behind a desk.
What do the Sulisans look like?
Yeah, so they're sort of short, big, bug-eyed. They have multiple kind of two folds on their face that run along their lip line. There's been one in the Millennium Falcon, if you're familiar with the film.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
he was also in The Force Awakens.
He was also in The Force Awakens.
Hi! We're here for some blasters and armor.
Hello.
Huh? Hello?
I'm Zen. What's your name?
Weewa. Why?
Like you said, we're here for see if we can upgrade. We got these really lousy little tiny pistols, and we'd like to see if we can get some bigger ones.
What is that? Let me see that.
She
The-
kind of
the whole-
reaches
right.
out.
I'll hold it over time.
You have a holdout
I have a holdout
blaster, right?
blaster.
It's like,
So you
It's
slide
the
your
size of a pocket Derringer. But
Yes.
it's a blaster.
so you slide your
Yeah, I just
blaster to Wee. She starts picking up tools and just immediately tinkering with it.
yeah.
like, hey, whoa, don't break it.
I think you're gonna like this one.
I dig it. There she goes.
She's like got it half apart already.
So,
Nice.
Weewa there.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, we're here. We need to pick up some blasters in the heavy caliber category. We need some heavy blasters or something of the like, because we need some armor too.
Armor.
Yeah, armor. Like a chest piece or something, something to kind of help us resist getting blown to pieces. Armor.
I got some droid parts. You can
Yeah.
probably make some.
Okay. Let me see what we got. I'll hollow out a droid and wear some of it.
Okay.
It's probably offensive to that droid over there.
So she hops down off her little stool and goes rummaging around through some boxes.
I'm picturing, is she behind a cage?
Yeah, this is
like the, like police armory cage sort of
more
setup?
like a pawn shop. So she's rooting around through some plastic crates and stuff like that, and fishing out beaten up blasters and that sort of stuff. Whistling while she does it. So if you had any military training, the way she's handling these firearms is really, really wrong.
Right. And even perhaps without military training, I was just like, yeah, that's aiming right at me.
Yeah.
Technically, we've had military training.
I've been shot. That counts for something.
Literally, tosses 3 blasters up onto the counter.
Yeah, one of those stun doesn't work.
And then grabs some plate chests and up on the thing.
You might be able to do something with that.
She's got some other fastener tools and that sort of stuff. Bits of metal to.
Well, thanks. This is great. This is some great stuff you got in here.
Oh, wait.
And she reaches down up under the counter and pulls out this old beaten brown cloak. Puts that on the counter too.
All right, that's neat. I could use this to kind of, I could use this, put shoulder pads on it maybe. I don't know. I'm picking it up, man. I'm seeing what I can possibly do with this stuff.
As you go to reach across the counter and slide the items to you, she puts her little hands up on the pile.
Whoa. Trade?
Trade. I think Tanga said that we were going to be doing some jobs. I mean, can we run a tab? So that's a yeah?
She didn't think that was funny the second time.
Ooh. All right, what do we got? We've got a partially used stim pack.
Bhere's losing her patience here. She's like, guys, we don't have time for this.
What
Just
about?
Let me talk to her, okay? All right. Now listen here, you robot-infested, stupid bava worm poop minder. Listen to me. You're going to give us all that stuff that we need, and you're not going to tell anybody else about it, and you're going to just keep your mouth shut, okay? Got it?
Roll a force die. So you're getting really, really upset at this woman who is just being withholding, and the gentleman you're rolling with might not have noticed it, but she has not taken her eye off your lightsaber since you walked in this room. As you're unlocking this potential within you, 100% you could just reach across this counter, drag this woman out from behind her little safe area and just beat her into nothing and walk away with whatever you want. And as you're yelling, that this woman is preventing you from bringing justice to the Imperials. There's a power calling out that can help you. Would you like to tap into it?
Yes.
She repeats exactly what you said to her.
That's much better. Thank you for your help.
Scoop the
Grab
stuff
the
up.
stuff. Come on, guys, let's go.
Come on, guys, let's go.
I'm following Bher out cautiously. I was intimidated by that display. I rarely see Bher be so cruel.
So heavy blaster?
Yeah, there was 3 heavy blasters. One of them stun didn't work.
I grabbed the one that has a stun that works.
Well,
all right.
I grabbed the one that doesn't work.
Love it. Love it.
And I'll carry all the armor stuff in my arms. I'm sure that's a clanky mess, but and the cloak.
I'll help.
I scoop it up.
It's like you were carrying around bits of a protocol droid on your back.
I'll drag the cloak. I'll hold the cloak. I picture she storms out and we walk out behind her just like looking.
Yeah, we're
So what are you guys doing now?
heading back to this bunk area.
I'm going to look for a criminal guy who has a big heavy blaster on it and ask him to show me how to shoot better.
All right. So you are going to keep your eye out for a criminal
Actually,
guy.
I'm specifically looking. I'm going to flip a light side point because there's one guy I've dealt with because he's been in the system.
Oh, yeah. What was his name again?
Carver Singe. And we call him
there we
Singe. That criminal guy over there who is a Shistavenin.
You mean the guy covered in fur?
Yeah, the Wolfman.
Oh, yeah. What about him?
He happens to be holding a really nice, big, fancy, heavy blaster. And so I'm going to walk over and say hello to Carver Singe.
All right.
And
so where are you? Are you in the hangar or have you made it back to the
probably
barracks?
out in the hangar.
Okay. All right. So you guys are crossing into the hangar. You've got a lot of people kind of coming in at this point. It's a who's who of the Anoat sector criminal underworld right here.
So we're seeing some experienced
I mean, not that you have a lot of streetwise, but you recognize some of these people, some of these faces. When you overhear names, you recognize them. The air's different. There's an electricity that was not present before.
And probably more, and of course sounds and stuff since there's more activity. People
Yeah.
working on the ships.
Well,
You
that
said
there's
some
ships,
here.
starfighters have come in. There's stuff. He's actually a bunch of stuff kind of laying out outside still. Like they kind of just don't even have enough room. And really, at this point, you don't really think Tenga cares too much about hiding. He's kind of standing on the top catwalk.
But anyway, who's your friend over there? Looks like he might be a little bit dangerous. Let me walk over there with you.
So Carver Singe is standing outside of his modified star speeder, the Singer.
Sorry, I chuckled at that one.
It's spelled differently. It's
Okay.
not. Yeah.
It's got a Y.
He's doing that. Cool,
Oh, I hope so. I love Wise.
He's doing that cool like criminal back lean. Where he's got one foot up on the ship and the blasters dangling in the holster. He's got his. Well, he doesn't really wear a hat because he's covered in fur, but he's got his fur kind of stylized in a very brooding manner.
Ouch.
Yep.
Is he a greaser? Does he have like a pompadour?
Yeah.
Is
Yep.
Like the one. I don't
That's you're there.
Hello, Carver.
Ow! What's up, Zen?
know. Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
Fancy seeing you here.
So, I might sort of be responsible for this. What, I don't really know how to fire this big gun that I have. I was hoping you could show me a little bit about it.
We'd like to get some pointers on using heavy blasters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Carver can show you that.
I'm gonna set up some rocks maybe, and like a little target area, a little down ranges, or what should we do?
Rocks don't move.
Why don't we use the room?
Okay, what's the room?
Where Tenga's got the droids. Just go in there and, yeah, shoot him up. It's fine.
Okay, lead the way. I don't think we've found this yet.
All right.
So Carver Singe definitely knows his way around this place. He hasn't pulled up a map. He's kind of just talking about. He just flew back in from right around Anoet. He was trying to run some stuff from Bava. He's not getting into specifics. He's doing that very criminal thing where he's talking very vague, but other criminals will know exactly what he's talking
He's
about.
bragging without
Yeah, exactly.
without telling you any details.
You know, I'm keeping busy,
Yep.
rolling some stuff.
He's walking you through past a couple different like rooms and stuff that you didn't even know were here. Like, does Hank have a zoo? Was that? There's a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't even know was here. And sure enough, after rounding like 3 or 4 different corners, you swear you've walked in a circle. There is another big door. It's a blast door, similar to the one you saw in the armory, but there doesn't appear to be a little eye slot. It's got a big control panel, lights, that kind of stuff. So,
Okay.
Yeah, it's right through here.
Press buttons. Open the door.
all right.
All right, help me. Actually, I'm carrying a bunch of junk. Somebody press the buttons for me. I forgot I'm
Press the
carrying all
button,
this
open the
armor.
door.
Please, thank you.
Oh, you try with your foot at first, and
try
then
with
try
my
to get
tentacle.
like your tentacle, and
Well,
but
my
you can't.
tentacles were even holding stuff. I imagine at this
I
point.
reach
Like,
over and push the button.
All right, so the door slides open, and Bher, you recognize the smell. It's universal. It doesn't matter what planet it's on, whether it's earthbound, shipbound, but all training gyms smell the same. It's that thick, damp foot, for lack of a better term.
Yes,
It's
Dust
exactly.
and sweat and foot.
yeah.
Sock.
You've got that like sunlight streaming in where it's dusk. You don't even know how that happens, but it's an kind of an unused, less used part because most people know what they're doing with these things. But sure enough, there are a couple different droids set up in here that have like guns for arms and big targets painted on them and that kind of stuff.
Heavily armored, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Made to take a beating more than
Yep.
anything else.
And Carver's just like,
Yeah, just turn whichever one on you want.
Well, I'm gonna put my stuff down in the corner.
They'll only stun you.
and he waves and leaves the room, shuts the door behind him on his way out.
And then we begin training.
I'm gonna try shooting one without turning it on.
All right.
Not to be cruel, but I just want to make sure I know where the safety is on this thing.
So there isn't one.
Okay. Yep, that wasn't it.
You shot a pile of inanimate metal.
Okay. Well,
It did make you feel good.
Okay, we're gonna have to activate one of these things,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe 2.
Yep.
So you turn one on?
Turn one on.
Yep.
All right, I'm flipping a dark side point. It attacks you.
I think I picked the wrong one.
You get a text message. It's a smiley face from INV. So there is a droid. He's got a chest plate, only one arm. It's got a blaster attached to it. He's got part of a head. There's some sensor array equipment kind of sticking out. The equivalent to space tinfoil used to make the antenna range a little bit longer. He's got one wheel that it's trying very hard to balance on, but it's sort of like a fat drunk guy on a unicycle. So it can stay up, but it's wobbling the whole time. Yeah, it's designed to be hard to hit, basically.
Right.
And then it is taking aim and firing at you guys. It's like as soon as you turn it on, it like smacks you with the gun, spins back, and starts shooting wildly in the room.
All right.
Duck.
I whip out the lightsaber.
What's doing?
Yep.
Right on.
I had my
everybody draws
blaster out, I'm
blasters?
sure.
Susan just used her hairbrush as a lightsaber at the table.
Yes, she did. She
Game
did.
over. Susan wins. We're all going home. All right, let's roll some attacks. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Woo!
So droid is shooting at you guys first. I'm going to pick randomly with my D10. Bher, you busted out the lightsaber, you get shot. That's how this works. I'm probably not going to do super great though, so don't worry about it because I'm a terrible droid. I did do terrible. I got 3 advantages though. So one, I have got some cool little jump pack things on my tires. So I basically get a little hop and can jump off the walls and around the rooms now a little bit. So I'm way more mobile. I've activated that part. And I have also activated my auxiliary weaponry, which is a gun that's sticking out of my back.
Okay, so there's the gun arms.
Well, just one gun arm, and now I've got a gun
arm,
sticking out of his
and
back.
there's a
too.
gun like sticking out of his back.
Yes.
And he's on one wheel.
He's on
and
one
now
wheel,
got
but now he's got
rocket
little rocket jump.
boost
Yep.
assistance going on like
Absolutely. Zen, what are you doing?
Do we get ranged light from the holocron?
No.
Okay. Then I'm not going to do that.
You do know how to shoot a gun.
No, I don't.
Well, you do. I mean, you just don't have a skill in it. You can still shoot. You just use your agility.
Yeah.
Yep. But I was gonna buy it
All right.
right then, but I can't because I've only got 8 and I need 10. So it's 2 difficulty.
Yep.
All right.
We're just gonna do this whole thing at pretty much short range, basically.
Okay.
Little room.
Blup. That cancels. I have an advantage.
An advantage. What's your advantage?
My advantage is.
Oh.
My advantage is
It's
although
mine.
I miss as I'm firing, he maneuvers into a position where he is easier to strike by Bher.
Yeah. Gets into Bear's
So
Chico.
she's going to get a boost.
Perfect.
when
Perfect.
she attacks.
Let's cover that one in a second. Gree, what are you doing?
I have light blaster, but not heavy blaster. Is that
It's
different?
it's blaster, light blaster.
Still falls
Yep.
under light.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, that's right. It's ranged light and ranged heavy.
Exactly,
And
yep.
Okay, so that goes to my agility. I have 2 agility, but I get to upgrade one of the my 2 agility dice because I have ranged light. And what's my difficulty?
Difficulty is 2.
Gotcha. So I got 2 successes and a threat.
2 successes and a threat. The threat is, as it kind of rockets off, you had to twist yourself in a way to get the shot that did in fact hit, but you're kind of like turned around on yourself, so you have weak footing for next round.
Okay.
But you definitely scored your hit.
Okay.
And
I got 2 successes.
2 successes, so
I don't know what the damage for this thing was. Though. I don't have
the
that written
damage
down.
for the weapon is 7, and then you add your 2 successes.
Right, so that'll be 9.
9, and then I subtract its soak, which is considerable, and it is left with a pretty good sized blaster hole somewhere near where its knee would be if it didn't have rocket tires.
All right, so this is really just so I can get a handle on this thing, but I at least have some minor proficiency with light weapons.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm just getting familiar with the gun. I shot it. I put myself in a vulnerable position for next round. Okay.
Bher, what are you doing?
He hit me the first time, right? Because you said I got shocked.
Well, it shot at you. It missed wildly, though.
How far away am I from it?
You're like right up on it. After Dave took a shot at it, it had to dodge in a very specific way that you could probably reach out and touch it from
He
where you're
corralled
standing.
it in within your melee range.
In terms mechanically, you are in engaged range.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So I'm gonna take my lightsaber and I'm gonna stick it right in the middle of the thing.
So you're just going to drive your lightsaber through the very center of this droid. Excellent.
Yes.
All right, so we will need a lightsaber check. As of like 20 minutes ago, picked up the lightsaber skill, which is very handy. The difficulty for all melee is 2. And then you had a boost die because Zen helped you out as well. So that is what you have.
Okay, so I must have tripped on something because I am left with 1 success and 3 threats, or was it 2?
3, correct. Yeah.
3 threats.
I just
There
like
we
that
go.
you must have tripped because you didn't get a triumph.
Well, because of all the threats, really.
Right.
But
All right, so the 3 threats are great. So you have succeeded with your 1 success and have shoved a lightsaber through the center of this droid. A lot of the weapons have really cool item qualities. Your blasters have stun settings. Lightsabers have what is called breach, which basically lets them ignore a bunch of soak. So in the similar way when you used the lightsaber to cut through the rock, the droid body armor doesn't really provide any kind of protection whatsoever, as Bher
It's
effortlessly slides this thing straight into its
you
chest.
see the edge of the lightsaber come out the other side.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that is quickly followed by the internal power supply shorting out and spraying this black battery ooze acid stuff all over the room and kind of
And sparks everywhere.
sparks everywhere. It smells weird.
We can't keep clean to save our
Ozone.
lives. Yes.
And you get a text from INV and it is a frowny face.
Did she now that it's been stabbed?
It has no power supply anymore.
He's a slag heap.
Okay.
The power supply has been obliterated.
I think the INV-88 droid has been messing with us. He sent me a smiley face over the messaging as soon as we engaged this hunk of junk, and now he's sending me a frowny face.
Well, we're not what you call capable. It's not like he was trying to kill us.
Oh, yeah. I've got words for
we
that.
We handled
droid.
it pretty easily. Great job there, Bher.
Thanks. I think we better practice some more.
Yeah.
Well, that's all for this week, but come back next week and see if Bher, Gree, Zen, and a few criminals can strike a major blow to the Imperial's occupying Bava. And don't forget to rate and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks, we'll see you next week.